wanna scream and shout and let it all out. And scream and shout and let it out. We saying oh, we oh, we oh, we oh.
You are now rocking with will.i.am in
Britney, bitch.
Ha! Ah! Matching. Nice. Oh. He tino makariri nai nei. Ko tōku tinana he tino maike. So I just said it's very cold right now, very cold weather right now, and my body is very cold. Heoi, haere tonu. However, we must carry on. Yes, let's go. Kia ora te whānau, nau mai hoki mai anō, ko te raunatia rere rewa te tōku ingoa, ko te tōku ingoa poto, kei a koe, you can call me whatever you'd like. This is chicken tikko marua, so chicken number 12 now, and yeah, the time is going super fast it feels, and I can definitely say that I feel like the honeymoon phase is over. Not that I'm saying that I'm not enjoying myself still, I still am. However, that kind of grace period where you're like, oh, learning is so beautiful and so fun and it's coming to me. Yep, no, that's over now. Yeah, mahi a te mahi, we must be doing the work now. And I am definitely feeling that crackdown of the time, you know, because it felt like only yesterday I was just talking about my last speech, my last whakapuaki, and we've got another one which is supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes long due next week, so that's real fun, real excited, real happy about that. I'm not struggling at all, not at all. Yeah. Here let's reflect back on the week that we've just had. So not much to really break down this week. However, we did have a really special time learning all about karanga and whai kōrero. And if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that, yeah, in terms of karanga and whai kōrero, those two roles on a marae are two very special roles, and they complement one another for any event that's going on in the marae. And basically what those roles are supposed to do is open and close the space so that everyone can continue on with what they're doing on the marae safely. And anyways, we have been very fortunate in who we have had lead the way for us in terms of learning about karanga. And that is because one of our teachers is the incomparable Whaia Ka Williams, or Nanny Ka. And I've mentioned in previous videos that we have a kaiako that has been teaching for over 50 years, and she is that person. I've always felt a little bit like rangirua, a little bit in two minds as to whether or not I should be mentioning people by name, but I feel like this person in particular, this kaiako, this pauako, this mare kura, which is basically like a female goddess, to put it simply, this amazing woman, just despite her wealth of knowledge, has never ever made us feel like we're not Māori enough. And to me that's huge, you know. To me that is a huge compliment to someone who has been teaching for that long, to be able to hold space for all of us who just want to know more about ourselves and want to contribute to the world around us as people who are Māori, as people who are tauiwi, Pākehā, all that kind of stuff. The way that she holds space is just unlike anything I've seen before. with someone of her experience and knowledge. And so again, I just have to tip my hat off to her. But anyways, now that you know that we have this wealth of knowledge, right, leading the way for us, you can understand how then it is very special that she is able to kind of hold our hand through the process of learning about karanga. And so I'll break it down really quickly for you just so you can have a better understanding. But basically the job of the kai karanga is to call on the people who are visiting the marae, or who are coming to the marae for whatever reason. And again, like I've mentioned previously, they work in partnership with the Kai Whai Kōrero to maintain a safe space on the marae at all times. But the job of the karanga, spiritually speaking, is to also open the gateway between our world and the spirit world, to kind of give safe passage to those who are coming through, and to also protect us from, like back in the olden days, protect us from anyone who is trying to come to our marae to maybe cause harm or rock the boat, you know. So yeah, so that's the job of the kai karanga. And she was explaining how, you know, it does need to come from this place of like muke, of like loneliness, pōri, sadness, and you kind of do have to tap into this real deep, hard emotion in order to really convey what you want to convey through your karanga when you're welcoming people on. And you do kind of want to, like, you know, keep your karanga real long and rounded, and your words clear as day, and you want to make sure that they can hear you above the wind all the way across the other side of the marae, which for some marae can be like a huge distance, you know. Anyways, we all got to practice, and it was just like, at first we were all feeling like really shy, right? But then the more that we practiced, especially with the way that she created the space, all of a sudden all of us were just getting up, and it just was coming out, and we were all so surprised with ourselves. And I just think it's just so beautiful to again see that light bulb moment, see that thing that is just can't be explained just coming out. It's just, it really is just, you know, baffling, to be quite honest. So yeah, it was a lot of that, and again a lot of learning about the marae, because come this week, so I'm talking about last week, come this week we are actually going away on a noho marae, which is out by Tuakau, which for those of you who don't know where Tuakau is, it's just outside of Auckland, south. So keep going south and you'll probably happen upon Tuakau at some stage. But yeah, we're going to this little marae there, and we're going to be there for 3 days, and we get to again practice all of that stuff. And the awesome thing about karanga is, again, harkening back to all of those conversations that you hear about, like, oh, the Māori people are sexist because women aren't allowed to stand on the paipai and blah 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 blah. It's because you have a specific job if you are skilled enough to do it, and that is to call and open a bloody bridge to the spirit world to wish everybody good passage. That's scucks as hell. So I don't want anyone to ever say ever again that this shit is not like equal. Māori are inherently egalitarian, and everybody has their different roles. And I think a really amazing metaphor for both karanga and whai kōrero that we kind of got into a bit last week, which I want to share with you, is that in Te Ao Māori we liken things in terms of people and like the way that they carry themselves and the way that they do things to the natural world, right? And for people who are highly proficient at singing and doing their karanga, we call those people manu te oriori. And that is because they sing to the most beautiful ability like a bird. I mean, I can't say that for myself. I think that's beautiful, right? And then there's also another term for kai whai kōrero that we use to explain someone who is extremely proficient at the art of whai kōrero. Because again, from what I have been able to gather so far about learning about whai kōrero, is that it takes a real skilled orator to kind of unpack what everybody is saying and like round it out again and like kind of twist it to become something completely their own and original and engaging to the audience. Because whilst the kai karanga opens the gateway, the kai whai kōrero, the person who does the whai kōrero, is also tasked with closing that gateway to the spirit world. And so if you are not a proficient kai whai kōrero and you don't know what the tikanga is to do that, then you are putting everybody at risk. And so one of the highest compliments that you can give to someone like manu te oriori, for someone who does whai kōrero, who is a kai whai kōrero, is ka tarahai. And in terms of the kaka, for those of you that don't know, it is a native bird in New Zealand, much like a parrot. And what do parrots do? They talk. And when you are likening someone to a ka tarahai, they supersede the skill level to that of a bird and to that of a parrot, whose biological makeup is to talk. And so, I don't know, I just think that the way that Māori, use similes and metaphors to kind of explain things and complement one another and bring meaning to what they are saying, kind of embellish what they are saying, is just so beautiful. And it's definitely opened my eyes as to, I think I've mentioned this before, but just how truly poetic our people are in the way that we communicate, which is just beautiful. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Nice, short and sweet, but stay tuned for next week, because I have a feeling that this noho marae, and for those of you that don't know, a noho marae is basically just saying that we are staying at the marae for a little bit of time, not only to learn about tikanga and what we do on the marae, but to get to know each other a little bit better, and also just have that better quality time to practice our reo Māori every day, all day, every day. So yeah, I think come next week I'll have a little bit more juicy things to talk about. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in. I hope that wherever you are out there, you are safe, happy and well. I hope your whānau, your friends are safe, happy and well too. I hope you stay warm, because I am like, look at me, I'm like wearing 100 billion layers right now and it's still not enough, and I'm drinking a cup of tea. Yeah, winter has come beckoning and I hate winter. No, that's not true. I do like winter. I like winter fashion. But that's totally beside the point. You didn't even ask, so why am I telling you? I'm super excited for this noho marae. I think it's going to be really cool. And really cold. Yep. Love that for me. Anyways, aroha nui kia koutou katoa. Mwah!